Hello, everyone. Today, we're not just telling a story about a product. We're telling a story about a war. A war fought not with soldiers, but with artists, engineers, and a commander who was both a genius and a tyrant. The prize was not territory, but the soul of a machine. The year was 1983. The battlefield was a small building at Apple's headquarters in Cupertino. A pirate flag, complete with a rainbow Apple logo for an eye patch, flew defiantly from its roof. This was the home of the Macintosh team, and their leader was a young, fiercely passionate Steve Jobs. They weren't just building a new computer, they were starting a revolution. But revolutions are messy, and this one was a battle fought on two fronts. One against the corporate bureaucracy of Apple, and the other, far more intense, against the impossible standards of their own leader. This is the story of the inner conflict that forged the Macintosh. This is the mind story of the war between perfection and reality. To understand the Macintosh, you must understand that it was born from rebellion. By the early 80s, Apple had grown into a large corporation. The Apple II was its cash cow, and a new, more powerful business computer called the Lisa was supposed to be its future. Steve Jobs was initially leading the Lisa team, but his difficult, uncompromising style got him kicked off the project. So what did he do? He found a small skunkworks project in the company, a project for a cheap, easy-to-use computer, and he took it over. He turned it into his personal pirate ship. He gathered a small team of the brightest, most passionate, and rebellious engineers and designers at Apple. He told them, "It's better to be a pirate than to join the Navy." The Navy was the rest of Apple, the big, slow, bureaucratic corporation. His team, the pirates, were the ones who could move fast, break rules, and create something truly new. Their mission was to build a computer for the rest of us. It would be the first mass-market computer with a beautiful graphical user interface, GUI, and a mouse, ideas Jobs had seen at Xerox PARC. But more than that, it had to be a work of art. Jobs wasn't just the project manager. He was the artist-in-chief. He obsessed over every single detail. He rejected dozens of case designs because the plastic curves weren't elegant enough. He famously demanded that the internal circuit board be beautiful, even though no customer would ever see it, arguing that a great carpenter wouldn't use cheap wood for the back of a cabinet. He spent weeks arguing with engineers about the fonts, the icons, and even the sound of the internal fan. For the team, working for him was both exhilarating and terrifying. They were working 90-hour weeks, fueled by passion and the belief that they were changing the world. But they were also constantly on the edge, fearing Jobs' legendary temper and his ability to dismiss months of their hard work with a single brutal phrase, "It's just not good enough." The conflict reached its peak as deadlines loomed. The engineers needed to finalize the design to start manufacturing. But Jobs kept demanding changes, chasing an ever-receding horizon of perfection. "They don't get it. They keep showing me these schedules, these manufacturing deadlines. They think we're building a product, a box, something to ship. This isn't a box, this is a statement. This is a tool that's going to change how people think. It has to be perfect, not just good, not just functional. It has to be insanely great. Look at this curve on the case. It's not friendly. It doesn't invite you to touch it. It's just a curve. It needs to be softer, more human. And the circuit board, they say no one will see it, I will see it. The people who build it will see it. We're artists. We're signing our names to the inside of this thing. A great artist doesn't paint a masterpiece and then use a crappy frame. We can't use cheap wood for the back of the cabinet. It's about integrity. It's about caring." A flicker of frustration and impatience. But the deadline, it's real. The money is running out. The board is watching. Scully is watching, waiting for me to fail. The pressure is immense. Every day we delay, the competition gets closer. Every change I ask for costs time and money. Am I being a tyrant? Am I chasing a ghost? Is my taste just an excuse for indecision? No. Taste is everything. It's the only thing we have. It's the difference between a soulless appliance and a tool that inspires creativity. Other companies do market research. They build what the focus groups tell them to build. That's how you get mediocrity. We are artists. We have to build what we would want to use. We have to have a point of view, a strong one. This machine needs to smile when you turn it on. The icons need to be playful. The mouse needs to feel like an extension of your hand. This isn't engineering. This is art. And art is never finished. It is only abandoned. But we can't abandon it yet. Not until it's right. Not until it feels like magic. They think the deadline is the finish line. They're wrong. The finish line is when I look at it and I don't want to change a single thing. We're almost there. Just one more change. This internal war between the artist and the manager, between perfection and the deadline, is the crucible where the Macintosh was forged. It reveals a complex and powerful product design philosophy. Let's analyze the three core principles at play. Principle number 1, the confluence of art and engineering. Jobs did not see technology and the liberal arts as separate domains. He saw them as intertwined. His experience with calligraphy, his love for Bob Dylan's music, his appreciation for design, he brought all of these into the engineering process. For him, a computer wasn't just a tool for calculation. It was a bicycle for the mind. It needed to be beautiful, elegant, and inspiring. This is a profound insight. Truly revolutionary products are born at the intersection of technology and humanity. The Macintosh team was not just composed of brilliant coders. It included artists like Susan Kare, who designed the friendly icons and fonts. Jobs' role was to be the bridge, forcing the engineers to think like artists and the artists to understand the constraints of engineering. He forced them to care about details that traditional engineers would dismiss as frivolous. Principle number 2, don't ship a product, ship a statement. Why did he care so much about the internal circuit board? Because he understood that the Macintosh wasn't just a product. It was a statement of values. It was a declaration that computers did not have to be ugly, intimidating, beige boxes. They could be personal, friendly, and beautiful. The integrity of the product, down to the parts no one would see, was a reflection of the integrity of the company and its creators. This is a powerful lesson in branding. Your product is your most important piece of marketing. The Macintosh's design, its ease of use, and its rebellious spirit were a far more powerful statement than any advertisement could be. He was shipping a philosophy, and the computer was just the vessel. Principle number 3, the tyranny of taste. Jobs' perfectionism was often brutal. He made people cry. He threw prototypes against the wall. But it was all in service of his taste. He had an intuitive, unshakable sense of what was right. He believed that for truly new products, the vision cannot be democratic. It cannot come from a committee or a focus group. It must come from a single, cohesive vision, a strong point of view. This is a controversial but critical lesson for innovators. In the early stages of creating something revolutionary, a benevolent dictatorship is often more effective than a democracy. He was the ultimate arbiter of taste for the Macintosh, and while his methods were harsh, they are the reason the final product felt so cohesive, so intentional, and so Apple. This story from 40 years ago feels incredibly relevant today. Every one of us, whether we are artists, entrepreneurs, or professionals, faces the same war between good enough and perfect. So how do we apply the lessons from the Mac team's struggle? First, insist on beauty in your work. This doesn't mean you have to be a designer. It means caring about the details others dismiss. The way you format an email, the clarity of your presentation slides, the organization of your code. These are all opportunities to apply the beautiful circuit board philosophy. Ask yourself, am I proud of the parts of my work that no one else will see? This commitment to craftsmanship builds self-respect and eventually a reputation for excellence. Second, know what statement you're making. Before you launch your next project, start your new business, or even apply for a new job. Ask yourself, what is the core belief I am trying to express here? Don't just list the features or your skills. Define the statement you want to make. Are you making a statement about simplicity, about reliability, about creativity? When you know what you stand for, it becomes much easier to make decisions about what to include, and more importantly, what to leave out. Finally, find the balance between a tyrant and a democrat. Jobs' tyrannical approach worked for the Mac, but it also led to his firing. The lesson isn't to be a jerk. The lesson is to know when to insist on your vision and when to listen to your team. In the early, fragile stages of a new idea, a strong, singular vision is critical. Protect it fiercely. But as the project matures and hits the reality of deadlines and budgets, you must learn to trust your team. The challenge is to be a benevolent dictator of the core vision while being a democratic leader on the execution. It's a difficult balance, but it's the tightrope that every great leader must walk. The Macintosh was not just a successful product, it was a declaration of war on mediocrity. It was proof that a small team of passionate pirates, led by a visionary captain, could challenge the entire world. The story of its creation is a chaotic, beautiful, and timeless lesson in the conflict that lives inside every creator. It teaches us that the pursuit of insanely great is a painful and often lonely road. It requires us to fight against deadlines, against budgets, and sometimes against the doubts in our own minds. The Macintosh's legacy is not just in its mouse or its icons. Its true legacy is the belief that computers, and indeed anything we build, should be more than just functional. They should be a testament to the power of human creativity. They should be works of art,